These are the questions that my student that wrote JAMB this morning saw in the exam hall. So I decided to bring it up here so that you can look at it in case you repeat something like that, because those that wrote the first batch, from my information I got from my student, they said that it was the same question but they just changed the numbering. So it's likely you're going to see that same question in your forthcoming exam. If this is your first time tuning, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and turn on notification because you have a lot to gain. With no further ado, let's get straight into the questions. Question 1. If 1.2 times 10 raised to the power of 6 of heat energy is given off in 1 second from a vessel maintained at a temperature gradient of 30 Kelvin per meter, the surface area of the vessel is what? We are given the thermal conductivity of the vessel at 400 Weber per meter per Kelvin. And we have the following options. So let's solve this question. Now from the formula, thermal conductivity is equals to the rate of heat flow per area, then all over temperature gradient. Now what are we looking for? Looking for the area, okay? So I'm going to make it the subject. Now knowing that thermal conductivity is equals to rate of heat flow over area, okay, then multiply by 1 over temperature gradient. Okay, so making it the subject, to say cross multiply, area is equals to rate of heat over thermal conductivity, then times temperature gradient. Alright guys, let's put it in parameters and we solve our question. Now from what we have, the rate of heat, the quantity of heat is 1.2 times 10 raised to the power 6 divided by the thermal conductivity is 400 while the temperature gradient is 30. Okay, so we can now work it out and divide to get our area. Now simply work it out and divide and the answer becomes 100 centimeter. Okay, so that is meter, this is 100 meter square. Okay, when you multiply and divide it, now the answer is left in terms of standard form. So this is going to be 1 times 10 raised to the power of 2 meter square. Okay, so this is what we have. And from what we've gotten so far, the correct option to this question is option B. Question 2. Which of the following is most strongly deflected by a magnetic field? Option A, gamma rays. Option B, alpha particles. Option C, beta particles. Option D, X-rays. So correct option to this question is beta particles, which is option C. A material has a work function of 5 electron volts. Calculate its threshold frequency. You are given 1 electron volt to be 1.6 times 10 to the power of minus 19. H equals to 6.6 times 10 to the power of minus 34 joules second. So now the formula for work function, W is equals to HF naught, right? We are looking for this threshold frequency, okay? And from the question, we are giving the work function to be 5 electron volts. So let's just solve. This is 5 electron volt is equals to H is 6.6 times 10 to the power of minus 34 F naught, right? So now we must convert this one to joules by multiplying it by what? 1 electron volt. So this is going to be 5 times 1.6 times 10 to the power of minus 19, right? Then is equals to, this is times, please don't forget, then is equals to 6.6 times 10 to the power of minus 34 F naught, okay? So because I want to make this the subject, so my F naught is equals to 5 times 1.6 times 10 to the power of minus 19, then divided by, I have 6.6 times 10 to the power of minus 34. So what I'm going to do is to multiply it and divide, okay? Working with your calculator, you're going to solve and get the answer as, and the answer is going to give you 1.21 times 10 to the power of what? 15 Hz. So if you see a question like this is how you're going to solve it, or even something similar to this, okay? And from what we've done so far, the correct option to this question is option C. Question 4. Silicon doped with aluminium and germanium doped with arsenic become option A, N-type semiconductor. Option B, P-type semiconductor. Option C, N and P-type semiconductors. Option D, P and N type semiconductor. So the correct option to this question is option D, which is P and N type semiconductor. So if you are using silicon dope with aluminum, you're going to produce N type semiconductor, and also aluminum dope with arsenic, you're going to produce N type semiconductors. Please take note of that. Question 5. The dimension of velocity is what? Now I won't give you the option, let me just solve it for you. So we know that velocity is displacement all over time. Now what is displacement? This is meter over what? Second, right? So it becomes meters per second. So what's the dimension? Dimension for meter is L, y time is what? T power minus 1. So this is the dimension of velocity. In case I ask to find the dimension of momentum, momentum is mass times velocity. So just multiply by kilogram, right? You get your answer. Is that clear? Let's move to the next one. Question 6. A balloon whose volume is 300 meters square is filled with hydrogen. If the density of air is 1.3 kilogram per meter cube, find the upthrust of the balloon, and we are giving G to be 10 meters per second square. So guys, looking at what we have, we should know what is upthrust. Upthrust is volume times density times G, right? What is the volume? Given as 300, my density is 1.3, and my G is what? 10. Simply we are going to do what? Multiply, and we are going to get our answer to be 3900 Newton as my upthrust. And from what we've done so far, the correct option to this question is option C. Question 7. The equation of a wave traveling along the positive x direction is given by y equals 0.25 times 10 to the power of minus 3 sine bracket 500 pi t minus 0.025x. Determine the frequency of the wave motion. So just write the equation. Y is equals to 0.25 times 10 to the power of minus 3 sine bracket 500 pi t minus 0.025x. Okay, so I'm going to equate it with a progressive wave equation. Y is equals to a sine bracket 2 pi ft minus 2 pi x over lambda. Okay, since you're looking for frequency, so we're going to equate this and this, right? So this is 2 pi ft is equals to 500 pi t, right? So cancel pi t. 2f is equals to 500, so f is equals to 250 Hz, right? And this is how to solve this kind of a question if you see it in your exam. Let's go to the next one. A capacitor 8 microfarad is charged to a potential difference of 100 volts. The energy stored by the capacitor is what? So from this question, we have the capacitor to be 8 microfarad, which is 8 times 10 to the power of minus 6 farad, okay? The potential difference is 100 volts. So the formula for the energy stored in a capacitor, E, is equals to half CV square, right? Which is 1 over 2 times my C is 8 times 10 to the power minus 6. Remember, you must change this micro to put in the value, right? Then multiply by 100, which is 100 square. So you can say 100 times what? 100, right? So let's work it out. This divide itself 1. This divide is half what? 4. So this is 4 times 10 to the power of what? Minus 6, okay? Now this is the same thing as saying times 10 to the power of what? 4. By the time you work it out, you're going to have 4 times 10 to the power minus 2 joules as the energy stored in a capacitor. So if you see a question like this in your exam, this is how you are going to solve it. Question 9. A transformer has a primary coil with 500 turns and a secondary coil with 2,500 turns. When the voltage input to the primary coil is 120 volts, the output is what? So you're looking for the voltage in the secondary coil. So let's go. The formula is voltage in the secondary coil all over voltage in the primary, right? Is equal to number of turns in the secondary over number of turns in the primary, okay? Now what is the voltage? You're looking for the voltage in the secondary all over that of the primary is 120 is equals to number of turns is equals to the number of turns in the secondary is 2,500, while that of the primary is 500, okay? So let's do cross multiply. The voltage in secondary is 120 multiplied by 2500 all over what? 500. Okay, so by the time this cancelled, is going to give me what? 5, right? 120 multiplied by 5 is going to give me 600 voltage. So the voltage in the secondary coil is 600. So the correct option to this question is option B. Question 10. Induced EMF are best explained using option A, Ohm's law, option B, Faraday's law, option C, Coulomb's law, option D, Lenz's law. So the correct option to this question is Lenz's law. And also note that Lenz's law explains the conservation of energy, in case you are asked. If you need the part 2 of this question, please drop in the comment section and I'll do just that. Thank you so much for staying and sticking to the end of this video. If this is your first time to me, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications to get notified each time I post videos. And lastly, do not forget to share, so that other students are writing this same exam will see it and learn from there, in case you repeat this question for them. See you next time in the next one. Bye for now.